Oh yeah, how y'all doing there? A little CCR at Woodstock. I think one of the biggest mistakes they ever did was, in fact, to cut out CCR in the credits. Sucked, I've got to tell you. Yep. So, how y'all doing? It's a Monday. Beautiful day here. I got to tell you what. Remember last week? I think it was actually last Monday. I said I was going to call down rain and cooler weather. Well, it arrived last night. It is beautiful here. So I think it's like 62 degrees. Had great rain. So, hey, how is hello, Susie Q? How are y'all? Boy, this a group of beautiful, groovy people. Hey, Nina, what's up, girl? David Castle, how are you, my friend? In Lost in Space. Robin, good to see you as well. Nick, hello. Reality notification, I hear you. Yes, antiquarian. Who is that? Woke dealer, how are you? So good. David Barry, how you doing, my friend? Big high five, big hug to you, dude. Bad Hatter, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while, dude. I hope you're doing well. El Gapo, greetings, greetings, greetings. Spirit woman, good to see you. Hey, Big Al, how are you? I had a great birthday. Thank you, Al. Over 200 birthday. I've never had that in my life, and never would have thought about it in my life. Be honest with you, it was not something that But anyway, thank you so much. What love, kind wishes, and hey, favor, baby. That's all I got to say is favor. So thank you all so much. Hey, Gaia, good to see you. Big hugs. Got my sky pilot here. Oh, yeah. Got the leather coat already. Uh-huh. Yeah. He goes onto the astral planes. He'll tell you. He'll tell you. We're going to be talking a lot about this week. Where, in fact, I can tell you the whole month of July, just get ready. You know, let me just say again, Bosto, happy birthday to all of you who've had one. Happy Father's Day for yesterday. I love this group. This group, no matter if you're feeling down, if you're feeling like you're a clown, you'll never drown when you're around this group. That's all I have to say. Yep. They say a sign of a true wizard is, and a witch and a powerful witch is, do they rhyme in their time of when I see? Yeah, it's always there. So let's see. May I ask your favorite restaurant? Huh? Well, being that some of them are just now opening, um, well, that's a good question. It's interesting. My wife and I Saturday went out to a restaurant we hadn't been to and since before the lockdown, and it's Mexican. I love Mexican food. It's that and Italian. You can't go wrong with that. So there you go. Bum, 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 bum. Hey Rob, what's up? Um says now my name is just Rob. Well, it's so good to see you. You're welcome here. This is a place of, groovy people. It's like, man, it's all I can say is it can be like 100 degrees. In Austin, Texas, there's Barton Creek. And if any of you been in Austin, Texas, you know what I mean at Barton Creek. It's great. This natural spring that comes out of the aquifer, and it can be 100 degrees in Austin, and you can get out there in Barton Springs, and it's just groovy. That's all I got to say. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I freaking love Italian. There you go, Danielle. Exactly. Actually, I've gotten really pretty good at, my wife tells me I fancy myself more of an alchemist than a chef, but I can make a damn good lasagna. And she says to say this, she says there, where it comes to tuna fish salad, she says there's none better. So there you go. Hey Shannon, what's up? Uh, Colorado bound. Yes, I saw that, Shannon. I just didn't get a chance to get back to you. It's a little distance, and I know the timing is, but we're going to look into it. Hey, Miss Trina, it's Spirit Woman's birthday. Well, happy birthday. You know, you have many of them. Got many more. We'll make this one really happy for you, indeed. And then tomorrow, Miss Trina, I will be on. So, I want to read some things here. I got a lot to cover. Listen, let's just set the pace. All right. Hey, Martin, Heidi, what's up? Good to see you. Wahan, Miss Trina, I just send favor your way. Let it be like there was a thing I really enjoyed studying Hebrew culture, the true culture. There's a book you can get about the tribes of Israel. But anyway, there was a custom of how they anointed their king. You know, they would anoint them with oil, and yeah, who'd have thought? So, but it's a groovy feeling. It really is. So, hey, cowboy, what's up? Hey, Nina, let's see. All right. So, to get us into what is really happening, I'm going to be reading some things. I think it's important that, you know, listen, if 10-year is what the clock is running, so we have 3,600 and now, you know, 65, so 64, yeah, thereabouts. Um, the fact is that human and non-humans, because non-humans walk this planet right beside us, we are in a war. It's undeniable. You're a fool if you deny it. I'm just telling you, because you know instinctively that there is a war going on. There is a war for your essence. Starts very early in life. You know, when you are approached by these demigods called religions, and boy, if they can get you into the contract really early, then you see they move the chess piece because now you just became a part of their side of the war. And we are in a war, brother and sister. And here's the deal. If you go through this life and you do not know the rules of engagement by the time you meet your exit, it's going to suck to be you. There are rules. There's rules in this plane. There are rules in the other planes. And the thing about it is, we're not limited because we're stuck in this plane to know the rules in the next realm, that the real realm that we all come from. We're just immersed into this fabric. The point is also, if you don't know the rules of engagement, you will be captured. There's no arguments, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You will be captured. And depending if you believe in the recycling program, it appears that many have been captured. Remember, what you and I possess as the essence of the spirit energy is extremely valuable, not only in this realm, but especially in the other realms. Remember, the natural state of the other realm is darkness. And be candid with you, with darkness, you know, there is both cold and hot. Think about it, microwave. Anyway, we don't want to be captured. And it appears that the war, the state of war, is not limited to this realm only, that there are other realms that are involved. And this is why they have the bridge, the portals. They have agents, and the agents have captured spirit essences that help power these interdimensional bridges. We also power these openings. and we're going to get better at it. I think because of the amount of cosmic rays that are now hitting us, we're going to see the negative medical side of the equation. That is, you're going to see much more incidences of cancer. You're going to see genetic mutations. This is all part of the process. And speaking of the mutations, you see, cosmic rays has a really weird effect on human brains. And one of the signs is that many humans are going to become psychic powerhouses. And I would advise you to start practicing, because if you don't, you're going to start having some real bouts of disorientation, just telling you. But there is a state of war. And this state of war is multiple and interdimensional in its construct, not limited to here. And here's the whole idea, brothers and sisters. We got to understand this. Either you become a master or you will be mastered. I wrote earlier, masters have servants. All servants have masters. Which one are you? Think about it. And you have to decide. A lot of people like being servants. They dig it. They do. And that's cool. But I don't like it. That's why I don't like religion. And the foundation of all religions is that man comes in as a servant, a lesser being. You know what my attitude to that is? Yeah. I don't know who came up with that crap, but I took that shit sandwich for 5 decades, and I can tell you what it'll do. It'll drive you freaking nuts. You're going to be in a constant battle of yourself. In the meantime, they're siphoning off all this energy. And they have your file when you cross over, because, hey, you're going to experience exactly what you perceive to be real. Now, I want to read an email that I got that just moved me. I'll read it for what it is. I won't give his last name, but I will give his first name. Jip, that's what it starts out with. That is South Africa. We, as South Africans, are going through an immense life challenge. Current date, June 2021. I am an ex-Army, an ex-South African police officer, 20 years of service altogether. Currently, a communication specialist for also the broader farming communities within South Africa. Well, as the song goes, some days are diamonds and some days are storms. I really love and care for all my fellow countrymen, and this includes everyone. But we are living within a degrading third world dictatorship. I, however, am very fortunate to have awakened to spirit and favor. The demons we face in this country are let to roam freely, and this is literal. This is not figuratively, this is literal. Until we bind them. We have almighty power in our immediate possession to do banishing and binding rituals. So true, so true, so true. Protection spells that stop poverty, enslavement, illness, and are also a fundamental part of working to get your heart's desire realized within no time at all. I agree with bringing the spotlight to raise awareness on this horrific subject. This is also showing to everyone the courage and pure brass balls that Imwa has to bring to this subject to light on his own YouTube channel. I am deeply moved by this act of bravery and salute Imwa. Bravo. Well, bravo to you, sir. Thank you for your service to your country. That being said, because of this channel, me and my family are arming ourselves with the power that is our birthright. We can silence the storms and create rain, as can everyone. I will be an active supporter of this channel, but no, of this worldwide family. Us, him, with all my love, Hendry. And I think I was correct. Well, sir, all I do is speak favor upon you. And it's odd because I was asked by another email, in the mouth of two or more witnesses, let everything be established, to read this. And he wrote this invocation, this confession. He wrote, and I quote, has changed my life for me, my wife, and our children. So, having said that, I think Mondays will be a great way to open the week up. You can read along if you want, or you can just listen, and it's already being recorded in your consciousness. All these favors will come upon me and overtake me if I give voice to them each day. Favor will be with me in the city. Favor will be with me in the country. Favor will heal my body when I speak favor into my body. Favor will set apart my children, my animals, and my ground as favored with abundance of joy. Favor will be on my food, my water, my pantry, my life force. Favor will walk with me when I come in and when I go out. Favor will cause my enemies to be at peace with me. Favor will be upon my barns and storehouses where I keep my valuables and prosper and to be in safety. Favor will be upon me in everything I undertake. Everything I set my hand to, favor shall cause it to prosper. Favor shall be upon all my material property and shall cause it to last longer and not break. Favor shall protect me, my offspring, and my possessions from calamity. Favor will lead me to good fortunes in all things. I have Fontana that sits right next to me over here. In fact, I guess, I digress. Sanji really likes video. Favor will cause me to be the head, not the tail. Favor will cause me to always come out on top and never beneath. Favor will cause me to always be above and not below. Favor will cause me to have favor with the elements. Favor will cause me to be favored with the spirit realm. This is important stuff, folks. Favor will cause me to be favorable to everyone I meet. They will see me with favor. Favor will seek me out. It will overtake me and abide with me. No weapon of any kind shall harm me, nor will it prosper against me. It will be created in my words, and what was said has been done. Boom, baby. So there you go. I love it. It is a fact that it works, and it works all the time. And you confess it. You'll actually begin to confess it in your sleep. It's a fact. Yeah. So let's see. So what's happening all in the chat room? Boom, baby, boom. Exactly. We got some. So here's the reality. Humans don't walk alone on this planet. There are other species that have bipedal forms that look exactly like us. You will see some variations. And if you study the race books, you know that Earth is not alone. It's not unique. It's special, but it's not unique. There are many planets out there that have water, and there are many other life forms. So all life forms apparently die in this physical realm. Some live very long. We would measure it by our measurement of time to be into the billions of years. It shows how we have been so screwed, blued, and tattooed here, humans. I mean, we have been so, seriously, I want to use, the F word, but I'm not going to do that. We have been, again, we have just been screwed. We are blued, and that means we've been rode and hung out to dry and tattooed as, screwed. because we only live a measly, that the average lifespan now is about 79 years old for a male. That sucks. Our body has the capacity, the capability from the original manufacturer to literally renew itself every 7 years. But it doesn't do that. To those of you that practice that, and we're going to get into breathing magic. It'll be later on down the road, but there is a magic to breathing. And breathing, oddly enough, the vast majority of the human population breathes wrong, including me. I get lazy about it. And it's disastrous for us. But we were never taught to breathe properly. Just one of the instances that when we talk about the fact that even long-lived species do cross over. We live in parallel dimensions, parallel realities, parallel realms. If you become a master in this realm, and particularly magic, you will become you are already a master over there. Your orientation is going to be far less complicated as opposed to others who believe into the alien religions. That's the trap. You know, we've been taught that love is equated to light. Suckers. Excuse me, I digress. But anyway, so if we are so valuable assets to what can only be determined as higher masters, then that makes us either one or two things. We are either initiates or we are servants. I don't think that there may be a third option. I don't know. Because some of us have a sense that, well, we won't be coming back. We just won't be. You become the virus at some point, and the virus will always be rejected by the construct, the matrix. So how do we do that? Each day, I have been taught that if you go out and mingle, let's say at work, the odds are you will encounter well over, and I'll just give a typical office. Let's say that there's 20 people in your office, and you come in and you now are immersed in this hodgepodge of energy. What you don't know, and what most people don't realize, that there's probably at least 20,000 other spirit entities that would be in or around the surrounding area. And they like playing games with us. It's amazing, and I'll show you how this works. You come in, you're extremely upbeat. You got it all. You can see it. You've got your shields up, and man, you're coming in because you are a essence of positiveness. Some say a brightness. As you immerse yourself into it, what you don't know is that your coworker on the other side of the partition has had, well, let's just say she had a sexual escapade over the weekend. And what she did not realize is that she literally absorbed other entities that she hasn't any idea about. But yet she feels anxious, depressed. She has this real negative vibe. But you're staying positive. But by noon, you're already beginning to feel something. You're a little edgy, you know. You're finding that things that shouldn't cause you all that much stress are irritating you. And someone that you really hadn't even thought about anything about, the more that they talk, the more it's irritating you. And what's happened is that you've picked up some hitchhikers. That's what's happened. And if you don't know how to basically shake them off, tell them hit the road, the truth is, and it is out there, many people have thousands of these entities all over them. They would look very grotesque in a certain field of light, of vision, would be highly grotesque, wouldn't even look human. Of course, that's what we image ourselves with. Why does the negative resonate longer? I'll tell you why. Is that because there's more of it? Listen, the internet in itself is a negative entity. It may have not started out that way. It started out, you know, in a simple application, the ARPANET, as I've told you, and then the Ethernet. And actually, the Ethernet is exactly what it is. We connected into the ethereal realm with the internet. And now we take it such for granted, but we fail to understand this is where it's operating from. And the real question is, who are the operators in the ethereal that is interfacing this technology that now rules humankind? So we're in a spiritual war. I mean, I don't care what your position is on that. Religion teaches you that if you adapt to that ideology, that the bonus that comes with it is protection. Well, you have this deity or this deity or this deity who will provide you protection. And if you learn the mantras and quote the verses and memorize them, then you will have the shield. I am very well versed with Ephesians 6:12. Very well versed. And the thing about it is, as I look at it now, I see it through different eyes. Paul, if he ever lived, was actually a very powerful magician. He had to be a powerful magician, otherwise he would have never had the Liber Lilith. Now, he had his own thing. Crowley had his own thing. So we are in this battle. Now, the question is, I don't like this idea of having to choose sides. I don't see any value of either one of them. As I said on Friday's show, the Satanic Bible and the Holy Bible, just a different word, they're the same construct. Either one could not exist without the other one. And that shows the frailty of the belief system. Because in each case, there is a magic. Magic is not a sleight of hands, not a distraction. Magic is control. Magic is about controlling the elements. Magic is about being able to rise in spirit where you can get out there and become more powerful than the spirits around you. That your very essence begins to, in many cases, draw fear into many of these subset species of spiritual entities. They're here. They can be controlled. Even the most powerful ones can be controlled. That's the most amazing ability about us. And if you want to say it's human, I don't know. But I do know this. The vast majority of us have been robbed, blinded, stolen from. We have allowed our essences to be siphoned off that saw others of the seen and unseen realm profit off of our energy, made them rich, made them more powerful in the other realms. It's like you got a freaking, gas hose hooked up to you, right, for your primary crown chakra. And they do this for decades, and that's why I think we age. These bodies are marvelous, marvelous avatars. They are just fantastic. But the problem is it's attached to the spiritual essence. And if the spiritual essence begins to get drained, the body will follow. I recently read the interview they did with Dick Van Dyke, where, he's 95, still active, still dancing, he's still acting. And he is absolutely right. There are many of us of that same spiritual mindset. We don't see ourselves aging. We just don't. We know that it is a material reality, but our essences don't see it. And that becomes a problem. And when you get disconnected, as the Matrix shows with Neo, when you awaken, you're now breaking free from these constructs. I was trapped in one for nearly 50 years called Christianity. Sucked. But I would have told you, would have laid my life down, that I, in fact, had it right. Glad I never had to face that. But once you're disconnected from the system, you're kind of out there all on your own. There really is no safety net. It's the true, sink or swim. What are you going to do? And that's the journey I am on. I have taken that 50 years of experience and knowledge, and I now realize how powerful that magic is. When I read the comparative religions, whether it is Judaism, whether it is Islam, whether it is the Hindu, the Taoist, the Buddhists, all of them are on the same, you're plugged into that. But once you become a virus in one particular construct, you are literally a virus to all the others. I've known many people who tried many different forms of Christianity. Didn't work. Then they ventured out into the outer regions, looked at Mormonism, then moved out. I know a couple that actually became Muslims. Didn't work out. They tried to become more, Taoist in their approach. And that's the problem, is that we become a virus. Why? Because we disconnected from one. It's going to make you much more likely to disconnect from all the others. And so for myself, being exposed to 50 years of this powerful magic and how it worked, and now I look back and I can quote to you chapter and verse, but I can tell it to you from a different perspective. That's powerful. And if consciousness contains the essence of my experience, the essence of the knowledge that I have gained, and if that is in fact transmuted at the point of physical death, then I will carry this over. At least that's my plan. And my approach is that I'm approaching this as a war, because it sure seems like a lot of humans have been put into this recycle machine, and it hasn't benefited us at all. Now, if it's one life to live and then you go over, holy crap. I mean, you'll be going over there as a newbie. So I would much rather take my own magic than rely on the magic of something that was written by an author that I have no idea about. Just my take. Brenda, how you doing, my love? Yes, 60 years for, yeah. Brenda, much love to you, dear. That's Milky Way's mom. We're going to have a big celebration on the 3rd, for sure. So I have some books that I want to bring to the forefront of our study. Now, this one is interesting because I believe that you need to have a full understanding of all the major religions. If you look at the Abrahamic faiths, their belief systems, they come from Sumer. I mean, if you want to talk about a magic that we don't even remember anymore. So this one is more of Islamic occultism. Isn't it odd that people always talk about the Kabbalah? They always talk about the mysticism of Judaism. But how many talk about the mysticism of Islam? Not too many. And I love this book. It's a short one, folks. And so we're going to read it completely. So this won't get it done today. We'll pick it up on Wednesday. But if you are serious about taking control over your life, where your property, no one will take a step against you. And if they do, they suffer a consequence. You see, you have the capacity right now at your disposal, legions of spiritual entities. Someone wrote me, I said a couple of years ago, that I know how many legions I have. They said, how do you know that? Well, because I bound them. They're bound to me. I won't let them go. They serve me. Now, many of them have gotten a free meal ticket, granted. But there are many that do, in fact, are very eager to serve you. And listen, where did I learn this? I learned this from the Bible. Yeah. Oh, gee. Didn't know that was in there. Yeah, it is. All right. So this is called the occult art of acquiring and directing spirit servants. This is known as what they call, and I believe it is the Kudam, and the Ilmu Kudam and its purpose. Let's start. One of the most interesting occult arts to be found in Islamic occultism is what the local practitioners here in Indonesia call the, again, I believe that is Kudam. Yeah, the Kudam. The word ilmu literally means knowledge. In Indonesian shamanism, the ilmu practically refers to a specific occult art. Its theory, practice, and the resultant power or ability. Emphasis is especially placed on power. Now, if you've done religious studies, comparative studies, you know Indonesia has lots of demons, lots of powerful spirits. I've known missionaries, Christianary missionaries, who will never go back there. They got their ass kicked, literally. Many of them, because they were unaware of the strongholds that that region has been given to. And that's what they're called, strongholds. Anyway, so the Kudam or the Kuldam, an Arabic word, is the ilmu, may be translated as servant. In the al-Kama, one of the terms for occult science in Islam, the word, again, kuldam, refers to an acquired familiar spirit. Unlike the Quran, which is a companion spirit one is born with. Yeah, the Quran, excuse me. Now, again, this is where my Bible studies come in very handy to me. I have been aware since the 80s of familiar spirits. You see, they teach that the reason why someone is good at tarot, someone is good at scrying, someone is good at within divination is that because they have a familiar spirit that is able to communicate to the other familiar spirit of the person in front of them. And this familiar spirit has been with you since the day. Now, these are not guardians, these are not guardian angels. These are exactly what they are. They're familiar spirits. And they attach to new inborn spirit beings. Interesting. And so this is from the Islamic point of view of an acquired familiar spirit. Now, if you are a master wizard, magician, witch, you can literally summons familiar spirits into any situation you're involved in. You can bind them and they will deliver to you information that you would not be able to ascertain any other way. So these Kudam familiars are not animal spirits, or at least they do not normally appear in animal form, unlike the familiars of Wicca and shamanism. Generally speaking, the Kudams are said to be specialized spirits of the angelic or jinn class, though some occult practitioners explain that Kudams are specifically the angelic servants embodied in guarding the letters of the Arabic alphabet, and even the Asma'ul Husna, the 99 beautiful names of Allah. A minority of the practitioners believe them to be intermediate spirits between angels and jinns. From the foregoing information, we may define the Imu Kadum to be the occult art of conjuring and acquiring invisible helpers to assist in one's magical operations. Now, I taught you all, go back and look at it, how to create a servitude. Now, a servitor will be a familiar spirit. One person wrote me, and she was right. She created a servitor, and she was not ready for it. As she said, the damn thing was fast and powerful. They do. So be careful. Acquiring invisible helpers to assist in one's magical operations. And I'll just state this. You should have helpers, particularly if you're serious about becoming into the master class. You just have to know what you're dealing with. That's why I'm reading these books. The nature and spiritual level of the Kudams and the occult practitioner acquire is dependent upon his or her own spiritual attainment. Not all Kudams have the same powers or to do the same degree. The master of the Kudam would have to inquire the spirit familiar regarding its specialty, nature, class, origin, and other pertinent matters. Remember, folks, you're dealing with the old ones. Now, there is a class of the ones that we're going to get back into the old ones, but remember, the vast majority of the spirits that you are dealing with, all of us, they are not newbies. They've been here for a very long time. You are in a special class. That's why they are willing and in many cases happy to serve you. Really, what I have found them, many of them just want simple recognition. And you'd be surprised what that does for them. It's something for a human to recognize a spirit entity from a different realm. It's a real big deal. It really is. And if you keep that in mind when you're learning the names, the different classes, etc., it never hurts the first time to say simply, I acknowledge you. You'd be surprised what a kind word will do. All right. So the Kodams are said to be charismatic, have powerful presences with strong personalities and revealing identities. They are also highly intelligent and communicative. They have a calm nature and their words are filled with wisdom. Kodams normally appear in robes. Several years ago, the writer of this article was initiated into the methods of the Ilmu Kodams by one of its modern pioneers here in Indonesia. Even though this transmission was not complete because circumstances at the time did not permit it, enough of the basic knowledge was conveyed and later applied. After conducting the initial experiment of the conjuration, with satisfactory results, we had hoped to meet our initiator for a Thanksgiving ritual, but failed to do so as he had left town for good years past. In the interim, many other occult practitioners of the Al Kumar began teaching the Ilmu Kadam, most of them students of the pioneer mentioned above. And key point in this, remember, it's the thank you. It's that spirit of gratitude. Gratitude isn't a sign of weakness, and in fact, it's a very strong sign of power. Acknowledging that the above specific explanation regarding the Kuldam are correct. In addition, these spirits, according to our initiator, are actually one of the earliest created, emancipated beings and are a class of their own. They do not belong to either groups of angels and jinns. They have a benign nature and have sworn to serve only for good purposes so that they might acquire merit and evolve further, perhaps allowing them to obtain a higher spiritual status, permitting them to approach closer to the throne. These kudams are created to be guardians and helpers of humanity. They possess wonderful powers, although circumscribed by cosmic law. They are programmed to assist those who would first take the initiative to help themselves and those who are in dire straits. Perhaps angelic assistance that people are experiencing all over the world are the Kudadamic activity. It is believed by practitioners of the Imu Kodam that most spiritual adepts in the past possessed Kuldams, and that it is possible to invoke the energies of these Kudams or even persuade them to become one's magical companion. Adapts of the past leave behind them magical energies permeating their physical realms and possessions and even in their kudakams. Now, the interesting thing, I'll finish the chapter and I want to point out something. Acquiring these energies could increase the practitioner's powers. The shamans in Indonesia often seek the leftover power of an adept wielded by their kudam. They also believe that sometimes it is the kudam that seeks for a worthy vessel. Thus, there are cases where uninterested individuals in magic suddenly possessed remarkable occult or psychic abilities after an illness or a traumatic event. Many shamans are born this way. And it's also something about jewelry. For instance, when I pass over, this ring will be very powerful. Why? Because this ring is with me all the time. It absorbs this energy. That's why you have to be very cautious about buying jewelry in estate sales and what have you. And if you do, a cleansing ceremony is highly recommended because you can be bringing in something that you don't want to bring in. The same thing with dolls. That Annabelle, huh? What a character. In our own experiment in the Kunadamic conjuration, which required an 11-day operation, we had to fast for the 3 days and recite certain sacred verses at midnight while sitting on an especially designed magical carpet with an occult diagram imprinted upon it. The carpet had to be charged beforehand, and this was done by brushing over the magical diagram with a combination of 9 different types of oils, plus 1 extra bottle of magical oil previously consecrated by our initiator. This later form of consecration was designed for the novice, as the advanced form required one to draw the magical diagram from scratch using consecrated pen and inks and oils. After the carpet was ready at midnight, we began the incantation and conducted the required physical exercise designed to attract, absorb, and accumulate psychic energy into one's force field. Our magical operation actually extended for an extra 12 days beyond the 11-day ritual. This was for the acquisition of extra powers. Later on and in this article, we will provide these exact disciplines for the practitioner of the Ilmu Kodam to carry out. After conducting the basic 11-day ritual, which may be acquired in the Kodam Magick package. In this package, the carpet, the talismanic cloth, already consecrated and powered, is provided ready for use. I bet that's got a few people going, I think I'd like to have that carpet. You see, the magic carpet didn't necessarily fly. Aladdin, this enhanced the story. But, this idea of a magic carpet it's repeated in Judaism, just in a different form. Same thing in Christianity. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's quite interesting. During the 9th or 10th day of the operation, while in the middle of our recitation, the Kuldam started to contact us. We saw her form clairvoyantly in our mind's eye. She was dressed in a blue flowing gown, and she was beautiful. However, past training and experiences taught us not to be emotionally and psychologically attracted to visions and spirit beings, as this could be perilous to soul health. So we simply greeted her without too much excitement and continued with the recitations. We wondered at that time if she were a projection of our subconscious mind or part of our wishful thinking. After applying certain occult methods, we were satisfied to know that she had a definite existence apart from us. Later experiences confirmed that she was real. The reason why Kudams are considered as a class of their own was apparent after our personal contact with one. According to traditional sources, jinns, whether benign or malevolent, have protuberances growing out of their head. This is graphically portrayed as horns. The spirit being that came into contact with us did not possess such features. On the other hand, we have had nocturnal visitations that we consider angelic. The faces and forms of these beings were indistinct because of the light that they radiate. Even at close up, the energy they emanate produce a hissing electrical sound. In contrast, the kudam that appeared to us, although radiant, was distinct with clear facial features. We will not continue with the rest of the story of our initial contact with the Kudam, as contacts such as these are actually a private matter. Suffice to say that we were satisfied with the results. We had proven to ourselves the existence of spirit beings called Kudams and the efficiency of the method of the Ilmu Kadam as taught us. Although skeptic at first, our doubts were removed by our successful conjuration of a Kudam familiar. Having related as some length concerning the Ilmu Kadam, one would probably inquire What are the benefits of learning this art? Below are some of the abilities and powers that one could acquire or exercise with ease with the assistance of a Kudam spirit. According to the practitioners of the Ilmu Kadam, 1, the power to charge and concentrate objects without the use of any media whatsoever, should circumstances demand it, such as water, flowers, incense, etc. 2, the ability to acquire information from someone without the need of meeting him or her face to face. This is done by invoking the person magically and or attuning with his or her mind. 3, the ability to detect an area, whether there is hidden treasure or sacred objects buried, and the action to be taken in order to retrieve them. A lot of gold out west, I can tell you that. The power to automatically exercise self-defense techniques. 5, the ability to conjure various kinds of spirits and to communicate with them. 6, the ability to move spirits or power associated with a sacred object to other media. 7, the ability to exercise the distant punch, that is, the ability to hit an aggressor without physical contact. One simply goes through the motions of hitting. The Kudam would simultaneously exert a force that would topple the aggressor. 8, the ability to acquire information or knowledge on the magical arts. 9, invulnerability. 10, the gradual unfoldment of clairvoyance and telepathy. 11, the ability to assist the healing process of those suffering physical ailments. In the exercise of some of these abilities, one would be directed intuitively by the Kudams as to the methods, techniques, or one could inquire it by using one's telepathic faculty, which would gradually unfold or improve with silent meditations and contacts with the Kudam. After the initial encounter with the familiar, one would have carried out relationship with the spirit with regular communications and disclosure. All David Copperfield, all these well-known magicians, um, all of them have familiars. You go in, now the one that I remember particularly was Chris Angel, there in Vegas. And I told Lynn when we walked in, I said, this place it's heavily occupied. And she looked at me and, there weren't very many people because everyone's just, and she said, what do you mean? And I said, there are entities here that, and when I saw a show, and if you've seen a show, yeah, makes sense. All right, we'll finish out this chapter and then we'll start up here on Wednesday. Having a Kudam is not an absolute necessity in most magical operations, as they can be done without their help, and psychic powers could unfold naturally through some other occult discipline. But their companionship is valuable. In any magical work, Kudams would assist in bringing about a satisfactory conclusion. Invoking their aid at the commence of a ritual would add in the magician's successful working of the operation, as would the invocation of one's higher guardian angel. How many of you actually invoke your guardian angel? Might help and say thank you at the same time. Quite recently, we were surprised to discover an occult practitioner offering the basic Ilmu Kadam teaching to interested parties for a reasonable monetary exchange, with methods similar to the very one we personally followed, although differing in media and language. This Kudam magic package, which teaches the basic 11-day ritual of the conjuration of the Kudam, is sold in our store, and this very article is actually dedicated to those who have taken an interest in this item. Unlike the carpet that we use, the Kudon Magick package comes with a consecrated talismanic bandana that ought to be tied around one's head. The Adapt producer has since updated this to a carpet while the ritual is being carried out. Prior to the ritual, there is a holy wash rite to be performed. The complete procedure is to be found in the package, and we'll get into that later. Right now, we just need to get a handle on, again, a different approach. And boy, where the frick the hour go to? All right. See, I know we're having a reaction, and that's good. So thanks for all the ones with the thumbs up. This is powerful stuff, folks. You know, the thing about it is, and I get it, it does freak some people out to think that, well, someone's actually teaching, reading how to conjure spirits. But what we all blindly, for the most, and I can tell you, every human conjures spirits. Every human does. It's how many of us instinctively know when someone passes that they're all right. It's many different ways. And to say that a human being should be cut off from the spirit realm and the knowledge therein, that's ignorance. And ignorance is a disease that is easily cured by knowledge. So don't be afraid of the knowledge. Someone went, oh, okay. Let me know. Let me know what you think. And don't, be nice. That's what I'm saying. Remember, that what you do to others will be done to you. So there you go. Anyway, so well, thank you, Aiden. Good. Thank you. Dargoth, you're welcome. Another fast one. It is, David. Got to get you back on. Absolutely. Happy summer solstice. Yes. Yes. It's now the days will start getting shorter. Which is all right. I guess that's how you depend. I like the snow. So there we go. Robin, ta-ta to you, my dear. Ignore is the root word of ignorant. Yes, that is true. Yes, Shanta is yes. With great knowledge comes great responsibility. It is true. Well, thank you, Angelina. Appreciate that, hon. Suzanne, good to see you. Yes, that's interesting. I'm a kid I grew up in the late 50s and the 60s, and Boris Karloff and Vincent Price. I mean, yeah, there was so much magic in those shows. It was amazing. If we only knew, right? Yes, if we'd only known. And now here we're studying it. And again, folks, I mean, I'm just sharing with you what I've experienced in my life. And again, I know it bothers some people that when you say, well, but you're talking about a cult and you're saying that you learned this in Christianity. Yeah, I did. And who'd have thought, And now here we are. So I want to help people. I lived a life that for so many, many decades, you're being battered around by circumstances, and you feel like it's outside your control, that you have no way. And then you get this crazy idea, well, I'll pray to something I don't even know what I'm praying to. Folks, there's a better way. And that is to understand the rules, understand how these spirits, you're going to be one, you already are. And when you pass over to the other side, if you don't know them here, you're certainly going to learn them there. And listen, my whole point is, if you can go to school here, you can graduate over there and get out of this trap. Get on with the ascension process. Move your beautiful spirit essences up. Become where you begin to be the guardian spirit being of a planet. And once you learn to take care of the planet, learn to begin to go. Boy, I am just like lighting up all over the place on that. You'll be in charge a whole solar system. And when you graduate beyond that, you'll become, maybe an actual sun. Imagine that. Anyway, that's how I see it. And the planets agreed when we were talking with the planets with Patrick. That's basically what they were saying. Planets are ascended masters. I mean, what greater place to be? You'd have a lifespan of billions and billions of years. And if you become master of enough of your planet, you'll actually start producing life. Can you imagine? Folks, that's my goal. It doesn't stop on the Gnostic tech. Interesting. There we go. All right, everyone. I'll see all you God and goddesses later. Y'all are beautiful. Love your energy. Love it, love it, love it across the board. Thank you all, and I will see you later tomorrow with Miss Trina. All right.